Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor, and today we're out driving not only this Denali Canyon, but a whole bunch of GMC Canyons here at the First Drive event. We got elevation trims, AT4s, we're doing the AT4X tomorrow with some off-roading, but first, my raw first impressions on this Denali trim. For those of you who are not familiar, this is an entirely new model for 2023, shared with its corporate cousin, the Chevy Colorado. A little bit more restricted than previous years, a lot fewer powertrains and fewer body styles as well. I am a bit sad to announce that no long bed, which would probably kill it for me, to be honest. If I'm getting a truck like this, I want something like at least a 6-foot bed. This one's 5 feet 2 inches, if I'm not mistaken. I'll put something up if I'm incorrect there. But this is going to be the fancy boy. This one's starting at about $50,000, and you can get it quite a bit more expensive than that. I'll see if there's a window sticker inside here. But we still have a lot of Chevy, GMC kind of trademarks here. The step on the side, a pretty fancy tailgate that I assume, yes, is dampened. Some designs right here. A little cargo storage area that you should be able to pop open. There, push it this way. Unlocked? Yeah, there you go. You can pull it up and drain it out there. Lock it up. Spray and bed liner. A lot of hooks. Looks like we've got a 110 power outlet there. Only a 400 watt max though, so you're not going to be running a bunch of power tools off it. For this generation of truck, GMC is pushing more upmarket than the standard Colorado. So all of these have a little bit of a widened track. They're going for sort of an off-road capable as well as fancy sort of design. These are all getting the higher output version of this 2.7 liter 4-cylinder as well. This one pushing about 430 pound-feet of torque. I'll have to check the horsepower figure, but it's something in the high 3s, I believe. Of course, being the Denali trim, this one's got big old fancy wheels. What size are we running here? 20 inches. 20-inch wheels on your Denali here. Fixed running board, some chrome on it. All right, back seat looks. Ooh, some shinier, some quilted leather there. It's kind of fun with some cross stitching. All right, my seat right now is set in my 5'10" position, and this is not a ton of room. I mean, I'm not uncomfortable, but if I were doing a long trip back here, I might feel a little bit claustrophobic. Also, if we're thinking rear-facing car seats, that's going to have to be a consideration as well. It looks like you can scoot that passenger seat up quite a bit and be able to do that. But we do have a flip-down armrest, some grippy cup holders, sliding rear window. Yeah, okay, some air vents with a Type A and a Type C USB port there. That's good. Handles, like to see that. Seeing the familiar designs though from Canyons of yesteryear though. Might as well take a quick peek at the motor. Let's see. Like I said, just one engine option now. No diesel. No V6, which is a bit of a shame. I liked the V6 and the diesel in the previous gen truck, but I'm sure this one's gonna feel grunty. I do like the looks though, I gotta say. Of course, Denali's gonna be giving you all the fanciest bits up inside here. If you want more of the aggressive off-road packaging, you go with an AT4 or AT4X. You can spend your money that way on off-road bits, but if you wanna take your mid-size GMC truck on-road mostly, the best way you can spend your money is this Denali. Pretty small center console here. Some cup holders. It does look like a decent sized bottle would probably fit. Wireless device charger right there. Type A and Type C. Ah, okay, all right. I am appreciative that we've got this big old fancy Android Automotive screen. I was a big fan of it in the GM trucks, the full-size trucks we've driven. Nice high resolution for Apple CarPlay that is wireless. Let's go to the main screen here and see how that interface looks. Yeah, pretty responsive. Not the best refresh rate, but good responsiveness to my finger. And one thing I love with these Android Automotive systems is a good Google Maps built right in. You got your traffic and very responsive voice controls as well. You can do things like, hey Google, take me to the nearest Starbucks, which is where most of these Denali trucks will probably be going.
Here we go.
Look at that. No need to confirm any prompts or anything. It's literally driving me to the next Starbucks 7 minutes away. So easy to use. I love that. Raw first driving impressions in the Denali. Light steering. Feel that 4-cylinder turbo working away. Maybe some grunty grunt. Big digital gauge cluster as well, about 11 inches there. I think 11 or 12 inches for the infotainment. Nice big dual zone climate physical controls. I like that they stuck with so many physical controls, all your climates and everything. In fact, let's just power that off. Gotta say, some truck purists aren't gonna love having the sound of that little 2-liter. I don't mind it because I am a Ford Maverick owner, so it'd be a bit hypocritical for me to complain about 4-cylinder noise. But I could see how someone coming out of a V6 midsize truck, a Tacoma, or a previous gen Canyon or Colorado, or coming out of a larger truck might take some issue with that. Ooh, don't love the turn signal stock. Doesn't feel nice. Okay. All right. It's no V6, I'll tell you that. It's powerful. Also sounds like they piped in a little noise to make it sound gruntier. I bet we got a bunch of drive modes to play around with as well. Yep. Big selector right here. Off-road, tow haul, terrain, normal. Alright, no sport, surprisingly. This is actually where I wanted to go. Good turning radius, though. And my forward collision system is already unavailable. That didn't take long. I like the steering wheel. Feels good, the leather's nice, it's good size, and it's well positioned as well. You can get up to 10 cameras in the AT4X with the first edition or whatever, but I like having that 360 cam. That, along with the tight turning radius here, is going to allow you to place it right in a parking spot. I can use that and aim myself up. Yeah, not bad, Mr. Canyon. Okay, well, I don't have a ton of time in this Denali trim. I'm going to be doing a lot of shooting throughout the day, testing out the other trims as well, so let's cut to those and kind of pepper my impressions in throughout. Out here spending time in an elevation trim, and I gotta be honest, there are some elements I like better about this truck than I did the Denali. First of all, the throttle response is much better in this model than it was in the Denali. I don't know what was going on with that one, if there's a different tuning for that model, or if something else was up between these two trucks, but this one feels much peppier, much happier to drive about, drive spiritedly. And there's just something about a more basic interior that feels right in a truck like this. There's the Denali, yeah, it's fancy and all, but it doesn't, to me, this is just a personal thing. I don't love a fancy truck. I like a very utility feeling truck. I'm not saying I don't want to have any features, but this one, you still get the really nice technology screens, still get dual zone climate control. I've got heated seats, power adjusted seats, but it's a nice cloth, and a lot of the materials feel a little bit more durable, a little bit more tough. I like that vibe better. Getting to dip off into a little bit more of a scenic route here. Yeah, not that this trim is exactly cheap. I mean, we're still talking probably about $40,000 for this spec. I don't have a window sticker in the car with me, but maybe even a little bit more than that, since you can tack on a few options. But it, yeah, I'd be totally fine with just having this. I don't see the need to spend over $50,000 for the Denali, which, don't get me wrong, if GMC can get the money, if they have people who want to buy those trucks, I get it. I understand why they would build them, and it's sort of the if you build it, they will come sort of mentality. So I don't blame them for that, but this is getting you more than you need at a much more reasonable price, and definitely not an interior that's gonna beat you down. It feels more proper for this truck, put it that way. And we're coming up on a Volvo wagon with 2 golden retrievers sticking their heads out of the window. That seems pretty Asheville-y to me. Hitting some real rough road all of a sudden. Didn't even have my camera going because I just switched over and getting to flex these all-terrain tires a little bit. I'm kind of wishing this Volvo would pull out of the way and let me go by, because I can definitely take this road with a little bit more confidence than it can. Hey!
Are you working for GMC?
Not exactly. I'm reviewing the truck.
You're like the third one that blasted by.
Yeah, there's a lot of them out here.
Yeah, what is this model?
This is the new Canyon, GMC Canyon.
Well, like what? Like, because it's obviously like, I feel like it's a little...
It's a mid-size truck, yeah. So like Toyota Tacoma style.
Like the...
Oh, right.
Like
So this one is an elevation trim, so it's kind of a base model.
Yeah.
You might have seen some AT4s going by. Those are a little more...
A bit more aggressive.
Yep.
This is a base model here?
Yeah,
Wow.
essentially. Yeah.
That's good.
Still pretty good for a base model. Yeah.
They don't come in stick, do they?
Not anymore, no. This base model truck, we're hitting some really big holes, and it's taking it really well. I'm in off-road drive mode. Again, I mean, I'm sure the Multimatic dampers... Oh, this is great. A Camry just parked in the road. Classic. What are you doing, buddy? You okay? Okay, just abandoned. I'm sure the Multimatic dampers would go a long way, but yeah, this is still plenty fine for a lot of people, I would say. I don't see an easy way to turn off traction control. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but I don't see any button that I can simply press and get a little tail action going. Woo! All right, so we're getting some of that slippage. A lot of broken rock here. All-terrain tires really eating it up. I'm only in 2-wheel drive mode. You do hear that turbo lag when you get on it. It does take a little second to downshift and build up boost and take off. Actually, I kind of like the durable feel of this elevation trim compared to the Denali we were in earlier. A little bit less in terms of feature content. You don't have the wireless device charger. You don't have a flip-down armrest on the back. You don't have cooled seats. This one, probably just a little bit over $40,000. I'm liking the paint though. Elevation badge. Yeah. Properly fun little truck. Also, doesn't really look dirty aside from on the plastic cladding. All right, but how about some real off-roading in the AT4X? Getting to spend a little bit of time here in the AT4 models, not the AT4X that we're going to be driving tomorrow, but this AT4 trim. And honestly, this one's pretty darn nice inside. There are elements of it that I actually like better than the Denali that we spent time in earlier today. The leather in here, I like this nice brown look to it. Looks pretty good. What else? It's cost the same starting price as the Denali. You can add more features onto this one. The Denali does come with a few more standard features, like it gets the larger gauge cluster screen, whereas this one has the smaller one, 8-inch in front of us. But I've still got heated and cooled seats. Do I have a heated steering? Yeah, I got a heated steering wheel, adaptive cruise control. There's a lot to like about this AT4 model, and I don't know. I think I might go this way over the Denali. I like this one a good bit. Just tested the Bose sound system, and it's better than I expected too. It's a solid B tier. If you do want to see that review, check the link in the description. Yeah, I think, as weird as it is to say, I didn't love the Denali model. The AT4 or honestly that, I think I'd go with the AT4 if I were getting a Canyon, because if I were going to just go down and get the elevation trim, I would just get a Nissan Frontier. I don't think it's a great bang for your buck when you're getting the cheaper one. I mean, yeah, you're getting a ton of features, but you can get a Pro 4X Nissan Frontier for about the same price as a modestly equipped elevation like the one we were driving. It turns out it was actually about $46,000. So Yeah, you're not getting as good of a technology suite, you're not getting as nice of an interior in the Nissan, but there's a lot about the Nissan that just works and feels more straightforward. That naturally aspirated motor does a lot for me, whereas I'm not totally sold on this one. Even though it makes a lot more torque, I don't like driving it around as much. But this AT4 model does...
in 600 feet, take exit 37 toward...
This AT4 model is compelling, and yeah, kind of cool. The top dog of the new Canyons, the AT4X, specifically this Edition 1, giving us a whole bunch of off-road goodies. This is a pricey one though, about $65,000, give or take, with all of the kit on here. We've been pushing this thing up closer to its limits, actually using it for what it was intended to, some real hardcore off-roading. So we're gonna get some more time behind the wheel now. We actually haven't been behind the wheel of this truck yet. Been sitting in the passenger seat. So it should be cool to actually get behind the wheel and get some footage. Even on the highway though, this hasn't seemed, hasn't been uncomfortable or anything. And the Edition 1, pretty fun inside. Interesting to have a nice white leather for an off-roading truck, but you see your AT4X, white on the seats, the red accents, red seat belts even. So they're really making this one feel special. In fact, I like this one better inside than the Denali. All right, wrapping up my thoughts on the new Canyon from behind the wheel of my Ford Maverick, because we didn't really get a good chance to wrap things up with the Canyon on the event. It was a very whirlwind event, driving all sorts of different trims and specs and the on-roading and the off-roading and everything. And it's a little interesting to have spent a little time now thinking about the truck. Plus, as of this recording, the Ford Ranger has been announced and released. But the new Tacoma has been announced at when they're going to release it, but we haven't actually seen the information on the new Tacoma. I really do like the new Canyon. I think it looks so much better. I think the interior is one of the best on the market right now. But it is a bit interesting that GMC and actually Chevy as well, so the whole GM lineup for those smaller mid-sized trucks, they're moving away from the utilitarian aspects of a truck. No longer can you get less than a proper 4-door set, and no longer can you get longer than a 5-foot bed. Just the one powertrain option, it's turbocharged, the 5-foot bed. They're narrowing down their options of who can buy this truck and who's going to be interested in it. And don't get me wrong, I believe that the data shows that most people just buy or lease the smaller beds, and they're mostly getting the V6 from the previous truck. So I understand why the data shows that it's worth paring down the trucks. But you look at something like the Tacoma, and somehow the Tacoma manages to still have a manual transmission, still have many bed options, and I'm talking about the 23 model right here, the one that's currently out, but still has different powertrain options and bed configurations and everything like that, and it manages to be the best-selling truck in the segment. And I don't even think it's close. I mean, they do a billion different specs. And then you look at the other side of the spectrum, and you see the Honda Ridgeline. Yeah, a truck that makes a lot of sense. There's only the one bad option, the full-size cab and everything like that, but yet the truck people don't really care for the Ridgeline. So I feel like GMC is going closer to the Ridgeline in terms of kind of just like, here's what you get. Here's a sort of a luxury item, if you will. And it is incredibly, incredibly capable. But I do think with the restrictions on what you can get and how much it costs, you'd be silly not to at least look at the offerings from Nissan. Definitely Toyota once the new one comes out. And I don't know about Ford, because Ford's kind of doing the same thing. It's kind of that classic American automaker viewpoint of, oh, well, you know, our data shows this, so let's just cut costs and save money and get rid of the cool enthusiast fringe options and just have these big main sellers. And it just kind of loses a little bit of character to me. But I very much enjoyed driving the truck, and if you are someone who's looking for a nice and very capable truck like this, I highly recommend you check it out. Thank you all so much for watching. If you do want to see more on the Canyon, check the link in the description. We've got a sound system test there. And we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.